I don't think Canelo wants to fight speedy guys who box off the back foot and counter punch. That's why I think he liked the Munguia fight and he likes the Berlanga fight, because they're two guys that will come face on and have a war with him. Do you know what I mean? And he likes those kind of fights. He doesn't like, he was disappointed.
2 fighters, 1 ring, and countless eyes on what could become the most talked about match of the decade. Terence Crawford, a 4-weight world champion, is revered for his flawless technique and lethal instinct. Meanwhile, Canelo Alvarez, the super middleweight king, has dominated with sheer power and unyielding.
Crawford, the biggest fight in the game.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like when you looking at Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, this is the next thing beyond.
This is the kind of fight that has boxing fans on the edge of their seats. But what if the real action already happened behind closed doors? There are whispers of leaked sparring footage between these two legends, teasing what their ultimate showdown might look.
See, he wants to fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different.
The buzz surrounding this fight is undeniable, with rumors growing louder. Some insiders believe the fight could take place as early as September, likely in Las Vegas, the city known for legendary bouts. Negotiations are reportedly heating up, but not everyone in the boxing world is on board. Experts like the renowned trainer Abel Sanchez have slammed the potential fight, calling it ridiculous. Sanchez, who guided Gennady Golovkin during his prime, doesn't hold back. He believes the fight isn't realistic, citing the significant weight difference between the two.
Being that you're obviously, again, appealing to Team Crawford, can you confirm? Are we going to see that fight? Has it been made official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo. Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting
Crawford
this confirmation here
Canelo.
first?
You understand? Yeah, it's confirmed. Man, what?
Say less.
Crawford versus Canelo, not the other way around. Team Crawford stand up, pound for pound.
Let's break it down. Crawford has spent most of his career in the lighter divisions, starting at lightweight and eventually moving to super welterweight. On the other hand, Canelo has bulked up over time, conquering middleweight, super middleweight, and even claiming a light heavyweight title. That's a significant size and power advantage for Crawford to overcome. Sanchez didn't hold back either. Crawford hasn't changed. He's the same fighter he was at 135 and 147. Sure, he's great, but he hasn't evolved enough to face a powerhouse like Canelo at higher weights. Canelo has grown and adapted his style with each weight class, and this is a key difference.
The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, you know, his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and like.
Then there's the knockout factor. Sanchez pointed out that while Crawford is known for his technical brilliance, his knockouts don't compare to Canelo's destructive power. Crawford's victories may be impressive, but they haven't been as brutal as Canelo's. Crawford's win over Errol Spence, for instance, was solid, but Spence wasn't at his peak. Canelo, however, has been annihilating everyone in his path. Despite the skepticism, the appeal of the fight is undeniable. Crawford's precision against Canelo's raw power is a spectacle fans would pay to see, no matter where it happens.
Think about Terence Crawford calling out Canelo.
You know, I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just too much weight. You know, and he had a close fight with the last guy he fought, Terence, because this guy was big.
Sure, the fight would sell tickets, but is it a fair contest? Sanchez bluntly says, no, it's not. This isn't the first time boxing has seen a bout that felt more like an exhibition than a true competition. Think Mayweather versus McGregor. It was fun, but not competitive. Still, Crawford is known for tackling challenges head-on. His dominance at welterweight showed that he can adapt and rise to any challenge. Against Spence, many doubted his ability to handle the natural welterweight size, but Crawford silenced those critics with a brilliant performance.
You can say who you think is going to win. You can't say like, oh man, I'm surprised the Bibble won, or I'm surprised the Better Be won. You're like, man, that's a damn good fight. So-and-so won. So kind of how I feel about the David and Canelo fight, like who had the best camp. who has the best game.
But Canelo is a different animal. He's taken on bigger, stronger opponents and emerged victorious. From his intense rivalries with Gennady Golovkin to his demolitions of Billy Joe Saunders and Sergey Kovalev, Canelo has proved his resilience time and again. But then there's the intriguing rumor, the sparring video. There are reports of Crawford and Canelo facing off in a private gym session, offering a glimpse of what their styles might look like in a real fight. Did Crawford's precision outmaneuver Canelo, or did Canelo's power make Crawford rethink stepping up in weight? Although no official footage has been released, the speculation is growing, and it's only adding to the hype. I'd beat him, no question, Crawford declared, confident when asked about facing Canelo Alvarez. The undefeated champion believes he can overcome anyone, despite the size and power disparity between them. But how realistic is this confidence, especially considering the hurdles in making the fight happen? Crawford is aware of the stakes. Canelo is not just another opponent, he's a superstar. But Crawford sees this fight as an opportunity for both men to enhance their legacies, both financially and historically.
I think Crawford rebuttal was everybody always say he hasn't fought nobody, or everybody that he fought was a no name. But I'm gonna tell you like this: what Crawford said, well, they was something until Crawford fought him. So obviously he's doing a great job because he's making everybody look normal.
Apparently no rehydration clause, am I hearing that right? He wants full smoke at that weight.
Let's go, man.
However, Crawford quickly acknowledges that the decision rests with Canelo. Canelo has his own plan, Crawford said, seemingly resigned to the idea that Canelo may pursue other options. After all, Canelo has a list of potential opponents. David Benavidez, Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterbiev, and Jermell Charlo are just a few. Crawford lacks the pay-per-view appeal Canelo commands. Promoter Eddie Hearn even suggested that Crawford might retire if the Canelo fight doesn't materialize. This statement highlights the precarious position Crawford is in, where inactivity could lead to fading into obscurity. Crawford's style is also a point of contention. He's not known for thrilling, explosive brawls. Instead, he's a master tactician, with a style focused on defense and patience. This has garnered success but hasn't always captured the public's imagination. His last fight against David Avanzian saw fans booing, and many felt the fight left more questions than answers. Some even believe Crawford owes Avanzian a rematch to settle lingering doubts.
No, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, Canelo, on the other hand, has built his career around excitement. His brutal knockouts and willingness to take on dangerous opponents across weight classes make him a crowd favorite. Should Crawford face Canelo, he might use the same strategy that worked for fighters like Mayweather and Dmitry Bivol: jab, move, pot shot, and clinch. This style has worked, but it could rob the fight of the excitement fans expect. Still, Crawford doesn't see it that way. It won't be like any other fight I've fought, he stated, confident that his fight with Canelo would be electrifying. Whether he'll go head-to-head or play it safe remains to be seen.
The Sheik said that he would be willing to pay whatever you want to fight Crawford. Yeah.
If he's willing to pay whatever I want, comes down.
That'll work. So if yeah, you're in. So if the
Crawford's belief in his ability to defeat Canelo isn't just about self-confidence, it's about sending a message. By publicly stating his readiness, he's putting pressure on Canelo to take the fight seriously. But the reality is, Canelo doesn't need Crawford. He can make more money fighting other opponents, and doesn't feel the urgency to prove himself against a smaller fighter. If Crawford truly wants the fight, He may need to take a more strategic approach, staying active and fighting top contenders at 168 pounds, like David Benavidez, could help build his case. But Crawford remains hesitant, relying on his reputation and undefeated record to convince Canelo to step in.
Stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that, Canelo.
Critics remain skeptical. Trainer Abel Sanchez, for example, has dismissed the fight as illogical, citing the weight gap between the two fighters. He argues that Crawford hasn't evolved enough to deal with Canelo's power at the higher weight classes. The question remains, can Crawford deliver if this fight happens? His performance against Move left doubts, and against someone like Canelo, that level of performance might not be enough. Crawford, however, stands firm, declaring, "I can beat anyone I step in the ring with." The challenge is clear. Crawford will need to back up his words and show the world that he's not just talk but action.
You know, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you're still pursuing it?
Not at all. You know, I think business talk. You know, with the right business come across the table, you know, it'll happen. I just be talking, man. Canelo a big dude, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I believe in my...
Trainer Jose Benavidez Sr. wasn't shy about his thoughts on the potential matchup between Canelo and Crawford. He believes the fight would be one-sided and unfair, citing Crawford's size disadvantage. Jose Sr. also voiced frustration with the current state of boxing matchmaking, believing that fighters like his son, David Benavidez, deserve bigger opportunities. He sees Crawford as a smaller fighter who doesn't belong in the same conversation as Canelo or Benavidez.
Really like to bash somebody because at the end of the day, I give respect to Canelo. He's a great fighter.
Yeah.
He's one of the best Mexican fighters of all time.
But wanting to fight him, David, is not bashing him.
Yeah.
That's not bashing him.
But that's what I'm saying. They spin the narrative on Instagram. Right. If I say something, they say this or that. But
for Jose Sr., Canelo is simply too big and powerful for Crawford. He has no interest in seeing such a mismatch, and is even more frustrated by Canelo's willingness to entertain a Crawford fight but not give his son the same opportunity. He believes that personal feelings are keeping Canelo from facing David Benavidez, especially after Benavidez's aggressive pursuit of a fight. Now, Jose Sr. is focusing on training his son for his upcoming bout with David Morrell, emphasizing the importance of staying focused on the task at hand.
Canelo's gonna put the beats on him like Dr. Dre.
Do we get a knockdown from Canelo, or does Bud knock down Canelo?
Nah, Canelo's not going down. You could hit Canelo with a Louisville slugger. He's just gonna smile at you.
They ain't say gonna beat him like the beats of Dr. Dre.
Yeah, he's gonna put the beats on him like Dre.
But why? Because
despite his frustrations, Jose Sr. remains hopeful about future big fights, particularly with the involvement of influential figures like Turki Al-Sheikh. He's optimistic that a fight between Canelo and Benavidez could eventually happen, but for now, his attention is on preparing Benavidez for his next challenge.
Anymore, but you know, like he say, you know, when they ask him for the Germonta fight, they don't wanna get credit for that fight. It's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because everybody's gonna say it's too small, and then, you know, he needs to enjoy his fight.
Jose SRS criticism also reflects deeper issues in boxing. Politics, matchmaking, and money often take precedence over merit. He believes fighters like his son are being overlooked for opportunities due to these factors, and is frustrated that Crawford's fight with Canelo is being entertained when others, like Benavidez, are more deserving. Jose Sr. remains focused on Benavidez's legacy, hoping to build it without being sidetracked by the ongoing debates surrounding Canelo and Crawford.